Welcome to the Journey of the Tour YouTube channel. My name is Morgan Egloff, and I am documenting my journey to the PGA Tour. Today I'm going to be talking about how I try to gain speed to do that. It's very important to hit the ball far in the professional game of golf. So I start out by theragunning, and then I get into my band speed pulls. Start with 10 reps at left-handed, and then I get into my 10 reps at right-handed. The biggest thing I focus on here is honestly just pulling that band as hard as I possibly can for all 10 reps and just trying to feel explosive. Then we get into my squat jumps, and you'll see here that I lack a lot of athleticism, which says a lot about the sport I chose to play in golf. You can see why basketball did not work out for me, but I try to do these squat jumps as best as possible and explode off the ground the best I can. Next, let's get into my dead bugs. I'd like to add a core exercise as the third workout in every set that I do. So I do 10 on each side, and I do that 3 rounds. Then we get into my next set, which is the ball chops right, 10 reps, use a 6-pound med ball, and trying to feel balanced but as explosive as possible. Then I do it with the left. Same thing, just trying to stay balanced. It's important to do speed exercises with both hands, not just your dominant hand. Shout out my dude over here who's a surfer. He's giving me a lot of good mobility tips and exercises. Then we get into my ski jumps, another kind of example of why I lack athleticism. But yeah, I pretty much just try to jump over this bench and try not to trip over it. I'm surprised I haven't yet, to be quite honest. That could be kind of a safety hazard, to be quite honest. Then we get into my shoulder taps. Sped this one up for you guys. Just another core exercise. Like to keep the core strong and try to do core in all of my exercises. Then we get into my rainbow slams. I try to throw these at the ground as hard as I possibly can. In my head, I feel like I look a lot more explosive than I actually am as I'm looking at this video, but I'm trying my best out there. They might not look like I'm putting in that much effort, but it's as hard as I can throw it at the ground. So clearly could use a lot of work with these, but we're working on it. And these are great for just an explosive exercise. Next, we get into my lateral bounds with rotation. This one I need a lot of work with. This is really hard for me. I need a lot of work with balance and just kind of stabilizing my lower body. But these are great for me. The lateral bound part of it helps with kind of explosiveness, and the rotation part of it helps with mobility. So I like when you can kind of combine an explosive exercise and a mobility exercise. It's very helpful. And then we just finish up with another core exercise, some plank reaches. And yeah, I do all 9 of those exercises are in sets of 3, and I do 3 rounds of each. This took me about like 45 minutes today. And then after, I drove right to the driving range where I did speed sticks. I'm getting back into the speed sticks. I want to gain. Right now I'm sitting at about 114 to 15 miles an hour of clubhead speed. I want to get to 120 by September. So I'm breaking out the speed sticks. I start with a normal swing with the green one, 3 reps on each side, right and left-handed. Then I get the blue one, 3 reps each side, right-handed and left-handed. Again, it's very important to do speed exercises with both hands, not just your dominant hand. I used to do speed sticks a lot, and I felt like I gained a lot of speed, and then they can be a little detrimental to your technique, I've found, but what I'm trying to focus on here is kind of still focusing on my technique while I do them and not just swinging them as hard as I possibly can. I'm swinging them as hard as I possibly can while still focusing on my technique. That's with the right-handed ones. With the left-handed ones, not worrying about technique as much. And then we get into my step-through is where I'm really just trying to be as fast as I possibly can. I wish I had a radar to kind of see how fast they were, but I do not. But yeah, so I'm trying to do the speed sticks at least 3 days a week. And then the other 3 days kind of do just regular workouts in the gym, and then an off day or 2 in between. But in the past, when I've done speed sticks and I've stayed consistent with it, I have noticed increases in speed. But this time, I'm just going to focus a little bit more on my technique so that it doesn't get too off. Anyway, we're finishing up here with, we got the blue speed stick here, and then we got the red speed stick step throughs, 3 on each side, and going as fast as I can. At this point, I'm pretty tired. I give myself a decent rest in between each stick. The left-handed ones are kind of hard, but low-key, my lefty swing actually looks decent here. And then we finish up with my green speed stick. You can see there I'm working a little bit on technique, making sure I'm maintaining a little bit of technique, but still firing as fast as I can. And I do 3 here as fast as I can. I think I did 1 extra one just because I felt like it. So then we get into hitting golf shots. I do 5 shot drives at cruising speed, and then I crank up the speed a little bit, as you can see there. The top tracer technology range at this place was not working today, not cooperating, and I couldn't really get my numbers at first. But anyway, we hit 5 more drives at an even higher speed than the last 5, and then nearly maxing out the next 5 pretty much as hard as I can. The top tracer range finally started working at this point. The range ball's ball speed is not quite accurate, but it's accurate enough. This was 171 ball speed, 297 or 87 carry, and then 5 drives at absolutely max effort to finish. And then for my last ball, I took a regular Titleist ball from my bag just to get like a more accurate ball speed because the range balls don't necessarily do that. And just do 1 at cruising speed to kind of see where we're at. In an ideal world, I would measure the first 5 cruising speed and measure this last one at cruising speed and hopefully notice a bit of an increase in speed throughout the session. So that's kind of the idea. This last one ended up being, I think, around 171 ball speed. But yeah, this was a full speed session. I hope you enjoyed watching. I'll be posting more content as it relates to my journey to the PGA Tour. So I hope you follow along. Thanks.